All right, let's dive in. We are about to break down a farewell address so powerful, it didn't just end a king's reign, it completely transformed an entire nation's soul. This is the incredible story of King Benjamin's final act. I mean, really think about that for a second. If you're a king who's managed to keep the peace for decades, saying goodbye isn't just saying goodbye. It's your last, most important mission. You've got to secure the future, lock in your legacy, and make sure the heart of your kingdom keeps beating strong. And that's exactly the spot King Benjamin found himself in. So this is King Benjamin. From everything we know, he was a really successful ruler. He brought lasting peace to his people, but, time catches up to everyone. He's facing his own mortality, and he knows he has one last critical job to do. Make sure the handover of power to the next generation goes off without a hitch. Now, this wasn't some sudden panic. Benjamin was very deliberate about this whole process. After this long, peaceful reign, he saw the writing on the wall. He knew his time was short. So he picks his son, Mosiah. But then he makes this really bold move. He decides this isn't going to be some private ceremony in the palace. No. He commands every single citizen to gather for a huge national assembly. He wanted everyone to see it, to be a part of it, to make this a truly unified moment. But before he gets up in front of the whole nation, he pulls his sons aside, Mosiah, Haloran, and Helaman. See, there's something he absolutely has to drill into them first, something he believes is the foundation of, well, everything. For King Benjamin, it all came down to the written word. He points to these sacred records, the plates of brass, and tells his sons that without these, their entire culture would have just collapsed. They would have been lost in ignorance. To him, these weren't just old history books. They were their lifeline. They were the only way to understand their laws, their purpose, and their connection to God. And to really hammer this point home, he draws this incredible line in the sand. He says, look at us. We have the records, so we know the prophecies, we know the commandments. But then he points to their brethren, the Lamanites. They lost those records generations ago. And what happened? They dwindled in unbelief. Their whole society got twisted by traditions that weren't quite right. For Benjamin, having a written record was the anchor that kept them from completely drifting away. Okay, so with that crucial lesson taught, the day of the big National Assembly finally arrives. And let me tell you, the scale of this event is just hard to even wrap your head around. The records say the crowd was so enormous, they didn't even bother trying to count everyone. People showed up with their entire families and pitched tents all around the temple. But there wasn't nearly enough room inside for everybody. So they did this really amazing thing. Every single family pointed the door of their tents toward a special tower they'd built for the king. The entire nation, perfectly organized, all facing one way, just waiting. Talk about a captive audience. So how does this powerful king kick off the most important speech of his life? Not by rattling off his greatest hits, not by reminding everyone how great he is. Nope. He starts with incredible humility. He basically says, hey everyone, I'm just like you. I'm a mortal man. I get sick. I have weaknesses. He immediately levels the playing field, connecting with them as an equal, not a superior. And this right here, this is the heart of his entire message. And it's kind of a bombshell. After all his years as king, this is his ultimate takeaway about leadership. It's not about power or getting rich. He says that he served God by serving them, the people. For Benjamin, it's simple. True leadership is service. And serving each other, that's the highest form of worship there is. Then he lays out this really powerful logical argument to prove his point. Okay, follow me here. Step 1, God created you, and he literally lends you the breath in your lungs from one moment to the next. Step 2, all he asks for in return is that you try to keep his commandments. Step 3, but if you do that, he immediately blesses you for it. So what's the bottom line? You are always in his debt. You can never, ever catch up. He calls all of humanity unprofitable servants, which is a radical idea designed to just obliterate any sense of arrogance or pride. Okay, so just as the massive crowd is chewing on these big ideas about service and humility, King Benjamin completely shifts gears. I mean, it's a hard pivot. He announces that the words he's about to say aren't even his. They're a message that was delivered to him by an angel in the middle of the night. And just like that, the speech goes from reflecting on the past to this unbelievable prophecy about the future. The angel's message starts with this jaw-dropping announcement.
God himself, the creator of everything, is going to come down from heaven and live on earth as a mortal in a tabernacle of clay.
And the details the angel gives, they are incredibly specific. This divine being will perform amazing miracles, healing the sick, raising the dead. But he's also going to suffer temptations, pain, exhaustion, more than any normal person could possibly handle. The prophecy says his anguish will be so intense that blood cometh from every pore, and it all leads to him being judged, crucified, and then rising from the dead on the third day.
The angel even gives a name, Jesus Christ, and says his mother's name will be Mary. Benjamin then makes it crystal clear. The only way for anyone to be saved is through faith in this Messiah and the sacrifice he's going to make. And this is the absolute theological peak of the entire address.
So, how does an entire nation even begin to process a speech like that? Well, the reaction is instantaneous. It's massive, and everyone feels it at the exact same time. The moment Benjamin finishes, the entire crowd just falls to the ground. The record says the fear of the Lord had come upon them. It's like they suddenly saw themselves and their lives in a totally new light, and they all cried out together with one voice, begging for the mercy and forgiveness that Benjamin had just described. You have an entire nation, all at once, having this massive shared spiritual awakening. And what happened next was a complete 180-degree turn. Before the speech, they saw themselves as basically worthless, less than the dust of the earth. But after this experience, they were filled with joy and this incredible peace. They said they felt a mighty change in their hearts. And get this, they claimed to have no more disposition to do evil, but to do good continually, a total transformation. King Benjamin sees this amazing change, and he tells them that because of the covenant, the promise they've all just made, they've been spiritually reborn. And then he gives them that new name he promised them from the very beginning. From now on, he says, you will be called the children of Christ. It's a new name for a new people. So the people have had this huge change of heart. Now it's time to make it all official, to dot the I's and cross the T's, both politically and spiritually, and really cement what happened on this incredible day. The final steps lock everything into place. First, they make the covenant official by writing down the name of every single person who made it. Then, Benjamin officially consecrates his son Mosiah as the new king. With his final task done, King Benjamin lives for 3 more years and passes away peacefully. And the most important part, the legacy continues. King Mosiah rules just like his father, with that same principle of service, guaranteeing a stable and righteous future for the whole kingdom. And that really brings us to the big question, doesn't it? King Benjamin's final speech gives us this fascinating blueprint for how to change a whole society. You start with respecting your history, you build on an ethic of service to others, you deliver a powerful spiritual vision, and it all leads to this massive collective commitment. It really makes you wonder, what does it truly take, back then or even right now, to inspire that kind of profound change across the heart of an entire nation?